Like, to me, that's still outside my neighborhood.
That's
Like,
a different world still.
Yeah.
it's a different world to me. Like, but it's St. Louis City, So I'm like, I don't know.
I live in St. Louis City, and I live at the intersection of Oakland and McCausland. That's a lot different than living on the north side,
Right?
Or driving deep into the south, like on the state streets and things like that. These are very different things, and I think that the limitations of the viewpoint is a challenge for a city with the complexities and the boroughs of all intents and purposes that St. Louis has.
Yeah,
but I also think that the people that say I don't want somebody, when you look at the fear-based shootings that are so prevalent and drive a lot of the things that we really are against right now, when you look at those people and you look at the things that have happened, I would guarantee that a lot of them have been perpetuated by somebody who had no other experience in those neighborhoods other than going to work. So that's the risk. And when I look at let's be honest about St. Louis.
Yes.
When I look at the pitfalls of St. Louis and I look at what it means to come into St. Louis, one of the biggest problems with the city is that half of it's scared of the other half of it. So do we want people leaving from that one part to come in and do that? I don't know. I think this is one of the most difficult measures that's on any ballot that people are saying right now, because it's a tough call.
And then what you may open it up to, man, and I ain't even think of this. You may have guys from other part of the state, and I don't. This is probably a little harsh when I say this. You're gonna have guys from Missouri coming down to hunt. You know what I'm saying? Or
that's real.
That's real. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I've kept my vote out of most of this, but I voted against this. I don't think. I think that
I may be voting with you on that.
Yeah. So, another proposition we got here, we can hit this one really quick, but it's a fascinating one. Proposition D. So, shall the city of St. Louis adopt an ordinance to establish an open, nonpartisan system for elections to the offices of mayor, comptroller, president of the board of aldermen, and aldermen, enable voters to choose all the candidates they wish in an open, nonpartisan primary, and allow the top two candidates to then compete for a runoff in the general election?
What y'all think of this? I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. This sounds awesome, don't it?
Yeah.
It's not though. Yeah, I think it would have been when Tashara and Lida ran. I think this would have been great. We would have won. Like Tashara would have won. She would be mayor now. If this was in then, she would win. She would be in. But where else are they doing this? Do y'all know?
Yeah, no, actually I do know. So right. So I'm encouraged. I would encourage people. I don't live in St. Louis City, but I would encourage people to vote on it. I would vote yes for it. I would encourage because Tashara's running for mayor.
But listen.
Tashara's running for mayor next year.
Look, no. Hold on. I will encourage people not to vote for this because look, it's too many what ifs. Like,
so it's approval voting. That's what if y'all never heard of it, it's approval voting. Look it up.
Look. We can't afford this in the city. We can't afford to have this extra election, this extra runoff.
No, it's still a primary and a general.
Will it be that? So hold on.
Yeah.
Case in point. No disrespect to anybody that I name on there.
They'll be okay. So
yeah. let's say me, Chris Carter, I got to run against Jimmy Matthews and Bill Haas. And those are guys that always run. They always run.
You're right.
I get 98% of the vote, right? But
you win.
No,
you win. That's approval voting. You just said 98% of the vote. Like that's it.
Well, no,
that's it.
Oh, okay. So look, I take that back then. Under this, Tashara would have still lost then, right? I guess I read this wrong. So Tashara would have still lost because she didn't get didn't get the
so let me break it down. I'll break it down. I'll break it down for you.
Break it down for me because I don't know.
It's new, right? So this is new for St. Louis City, St. Louis County, for Missouri. We will and let me also include the fact that our voting machines, machines actually can deal with approval voting, but we just don't, right? Other cities.
I want you to answer one more thing for me too.
Go ahead.
Break it down. How come it's only for mayor, president of the board of aldermen, alderman, and comptroller. How come we ain't doing this for everything, for everybody?
Right. That's a great question. So that part I'm not sure of, but it's citywide elections. Now, what I am concerned about, I'm going to say what I'm concerned about. Let me say that part first, because if there becomes like a major, an overall major group of people, a major overall group of people that is voting like for, and they keep showing up like a major group, like it will like continue to go that direction. But approval voting is instead of me voting for one person. So let's use the mayoral election for St. Louis City that happened where Tashara lost by 888 votes to Lyda Cruzen, right? Those are the top two, correct? Approval voting says instead of just voting for one person, you can vote for however many people you approve of to hold that position, to hold that job.
No.
Now, hold on, let me finish. So,
no.
If you approve, so last week we talked about Antonio French, right? If you, Chris, approve of, like I approve of Tashara holding that position and Antonio holding that position, right? I don't approve of Jeffrey Boyd holding the position. I'm not gonna vote for him. So what happens is that you can choose, and whoever had whatever. If I have to look at the language, but if there is somebody who doesn't have the majority, let's talk about that for a quick second, real quick.
I'm confused already, Matt. You confused too.
Let me help out real quick so we can bring it to the middle here. I'm gonna give the summary version. So voters could vote for any or all candidates they approve and then would vote for one in the general election. The change would go into effect for the March and April 2021 election. Supporters complained that some city officials have been elected with less than 40% of the primary vote under the current system. They add that under the proposition, some office holders would be elected with broader citywide support. I feel like we've kind of covered both of those angles here so far.
Yeah.
They also point out that nonpartisan city elections are held in all other Missouri municipalities and 80% of municipalities nationwide. Opponents say that political parties would be hurt and lose their candidates' party identity, and that the ward committee system would be weakened. They also say that residents would be confused by the proposed change.
Yeah.
I feel like we've hit every possible corner so far.
However,
I do know that this is how they do it in Kansas City right now. I've talked to some people that are in Kansas City about the way they do this, and they say that it's led to a much, much more representative vote for the people that they put forward. And I think that it played a big part in how Sly James has become mayor in Kansas City in that time, which I would see as being a parallel to what the Tashara's outcome should have been in the last election and could be going ahead. So I keep saying I'm not going to do this. I voted for this because I don't see a purpose for political parties to be inherent in our mayoral vote. I think it just gets in the way and limits the amount of people who we really want to have there, especially with the way that the districts are.
Yeah, and also I want to again the last president board of alderman race. More people didn't vote than people who actually did vote. So it's a minority of people voting on a citywide election, and that person automatically wins. And Reed won, and like it was ridiculous. Like, so people are winning citywide elections with a minority of voters, all because they had they had the majority of the minority.
To me, I see this, and this did forever. Well, and this did reach the ballot.
And look how St. Louis is forever. Like that's what we're saying. Like, yeah.
Well, and that's a good point when you talk about it's been like that forever, because you're right. You're 100% right about that. This reached the ballot by petition. So this reached there by popular recall. Because I think that a lot of this happened in anger about the way that the last mayoral vote happened, and I absolutely think that the alderman vote weighed in on it too. It was too many things that happened in sequence because so this was a response.
And I do know that Cori Bush, Rasheed Aldrich, and several others are supporting it. So, you know. It is different for St. Louis. It's
I
different.
know that Alderman John Muhammad is, and he made some great points on this.
Yeah. I respect
Sounds like that,
Alderman John Muhammad.
that sounds like somebody we need to have on at some point. It's working
Yeah,
out.
John,
Definitely.
Let's make it happen. All right, we're gonna get to the last two things we got here tonight. This one's running long, but I think this is the type of meat that's on the bone that needs to be talked about, needs to be fleshed out.
I'm gonna split up into two parts though, fellas, just for y'all to know, FYI. So y'all ain't
okay, cool.
Okay.
So the next thing I want to hear is Constitutional Amendment 1. So I'm going to put the wording out and then just get to